Welcome back, YouTubers. It's me, Daniel Parkin, on behalf of the British Fist, coming at you today on Friday night with your Smackdown review. Make sure you guys subscribe up above if you want to see more videos from us. Like this video and comment your thoughts on the show down below, of course. After I saw the Smackdown spoilers on Tuesday, I was actually quite really looking forward to this Smackdown. So let's see if Smackdown was as good as I originally thought it would be. Okay, so we open up with Randy Orton, of course, and he gets about a minute of mic time combined into about 5 seconds worth of words, and I think we all know why that is. I'll give you one clue. That's right. He gets about what? He says about 5 words. All of a sudden, Christian interrupts. Thank fuck. We didn't want to see an Orton promo. Basically, Christian comes out, thanks Orton, says it was a great match at Capital Punishment. I'm thinking ahead already. Great match at Over the Limit. You know, congratulates him on his win. And then he issues his challenge for his rematch, which we would like to see again. I mean, it was a great match. Although, the only problem about that is, you know, that was the final match of their feud, which means it was going to be the best match. We then proceed to get Sheamus and Mark Henry come out in a rehash of past Smackdowns, basically saying they should be the #1 contender. And then, yeah. And then out comes Mr. Teddy Long. Woo, 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 holla, holla, holla. You know, he makes the obvious main event for the night, which is the triple threat match for the #1 contendership. Christian versus Mark Henry versus Sheamus. You know, it's kind of like the same stuff, but I suppose it is setting up the main event, and it is a good #1 contendership match. So you know, I don't have any problems with that main event. The one problem I do have with Teddy Long is the fact that he comes out and says, "Let's see what the fans want," and the fans were obviously going to give Christian another chance in this triple threat match, so what was the point in asking the fans? You should have just made the match. So yeah, so it's a #1 contendership match, set up for the main event. The promo did its job. #1 job, get Orton on the mic for as little time as possible. Job #2, set up the main event for the night. And job #3, decide your #1 contender for the next pay-per-view, even though I don't think it was for the next pay-per-view, I think it was for the next Smackdown, but there you go. So overall, the segment wasn't great, but it accomplished what it's supposed to accomplish, which is what we come to expect from Smackdown opening segments now. The next match we got was Cara versus Chavo, Guerrero, and what did I not just see this match on a pay-per-view which I had to fucking pay for? Oh, I hate it when WWE do stuff like this. We've just seen this match on a pay-per-view, and now we get to see it on free TV. I'm just saying, that's not exactly the best business, is it? But basically, it was a 5-minute match. It was a good match between the two, as we would come to expect from two wrestlers such as Chavo and Sin Cara. Showcase Sin Cara as usual. Sin Cara wins clean using a modified DDT. The question I want to know is, where is this feud going to go now? They've had a match at the pay-per-view, a match on Smackdown. You know, what can they do to develop this feud even more? And if they don't, what are they going to do with Sin Cara? That's all I want to know about that one. It was a good match, but we don't want to see it after the pay-per-view. At least make someone win unclean so they can continue this feud. It's a feud I'd like to see continue. It does well for both the superstars in it. At least all I can say is at least this one didn't have too many botches in it like the pay-per-view one did. So yeah, overall good match, but again it just defeats the point of having a match on a pay-per-view and then having a match on a Smackdown the 5 nights later. Next we had Cody Rhodes come out and cut another one of his boring promos where he talks about people being ugly. I swear he gets his mic skills from Randy Orton. Again, he does all this paper bag stuff in his promo saying that people are ugly, which is what we come to expect from Cody Rhodes now, developing his new character and gimmick, which he's been, had for the last month or so now, month or two, since WrestleMania, whatever, I can't remember. Then he's interrupted by Daniel Bryan, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you know what, two guys that aren't doing too much on SmackDown are in a rivalry together at very similar levels. It could be a very good rivalry. That's what I was thinking when I saw this. And then we got to the match. Now, this was a very good match. This is pay-per-view quality match. This between someone like Cody Rhodes and Daniel Bryan, this is a pay-per-view quality match. And I can't help but think that they should have done this on a pay-per-view rather than on free TV. I was glad I got to saw this match on SmackDown on free TV, but we want to see this on a pay-per-view. Where people are going to have to pay to see this. That's what I'm going to say about that match. Very good match, it delivered. But we could see this on, it could be better for WWE if they put it on a pay-per-view. Cody Rhodes didn't come out with Ted DiBiase. You know, so what was the point in him being with Cody the other week and jobbing to Cody the other week? I just don't see what they're doing with Ted DiBiase. You know, where are they going with him? He wasn't even on this SmackDown. They featured him with Cody Rhodes, then they're not. Then it doesn't seem like WWE know what they're doing. Daniel Bryan wins this match clean, which is kind of weird because Daniel Bryan has been on a bit of a losing streak, and as much as I'd like to see him pushed, I'd like to have seen Cody Rhodes win this just because he's probably at a more elevated level at the moment, and it would also continue the rivalry with the heel winning. Maybe win by disqualification or win unclean or something. This is where probably Ted DiBiase could have come in. But yeah, Rhodes taps out to the LeBell Lock clean, and then you have the post-match attack by Rhodes and the paper bag on Bryan's head, which is you know, obviously going to culminate in this feud, and I think it'll be a very good feud. That's all I'm going to say about this one. Like I said, you've got two guys that aren't doing much on SmackDown in a feud together. Two people that WWE don't really know what to do with, as it's been showcased by the last couple of weeks. This could be a very good feud. I hope it ends in a good pay-per-view match, and they continue building this feud, because I think this feud can go very far on SmackDown. And just on a side note, one thing I've noticed during the SmackDown is, what the fuck is with Michael Cole? You know, on Raw he comes out and he turns into this babyface commentator, and now he's on SmackDown. He seems like he's just fulfilling that same role that he used to on SmackDown, which is kind of weird. It seems like you got him in two different gimmicks on two different shows, and I really don't like that too much. I think they should either go with one or the other, or on the other hand, make him a manager or make him just stick to Raw or SmackDown. Because that really annoyed me, that did, the way he was acting heel when on Raw he was a face. Unless they're going to continue this heel character, they should just, you know, not do that on SmackDown. Jobber alert, jobber alert, jobber alert. The guy, Heath Slater, did not get an entrance. That means he's going to lose. Well, actually, he did lose, to be honest. We had Heath Slater, who didn't get an entrance, versus Ezekiel Jackson. No Core at ringside, which is a bit weird, but we kind of knew Core were going to interfere at some point. It's kind of logical now. And Zeke actually got a decent pop from the crowd this time, which was very different because he's had a lack of a pop recently, whether he's doing a promo or a match. So it's good to see him finally get a pop. Zeke, you know, it was a decent match between the two. It lasted, 4 minutes or something, and then you had the Core interfere and then try to beat on Jackson, and then Jackson stands tall in the ring. Of course, it's there to continue the feud between it, but I mean, we're seeing the Core interfere so much now, and it's just getting really old. I understand that it's a great way to continue the feud, but it's just getting really old now. And with Core having only 3 members, it doesn't really have the same effect as it did when they used to have 4 members. I'm just saying that. I just think the Core should die now, and they should let Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel, and Heath Slater go off on their separate ways. That's all I'm going to say about that. We then had an interview segment with Christian talking to Matt Striker, I believe, talking about how he was an underdog, how he was always the last picked at school, how he was the first, how he was the how he was the last to hit puberty. Boy, I know how he feels. But at the end of the day, he also got the prettiest girl at school, something which I don't know how he feels, but there we go, that's just me. So yeah, a good, you know, I loved what WWE were doing here, interviewing people like Christian, who was in the main event, getting his thoughts on such things. You know, it was good build up for the main event, and they did this continuously throughout the night, which was very good to see. Overall, these interviews worked very well for the main event, and that is why I'll give those interview sections the thumbs up. And it's not really, we don't really see that too much in WWE now, but it's good to see it. We then get our a Monsters Brawl match, which, well, there wasn't a match, but it was called the Monsters Brawl because it's between the Monster Kane and the Great Khali. This match was slow. You know, obviously you're going to expect that between two power guys, but it was very slow. I didn't find it that entertaining. Kane wins after a chokeslam from the top rope. Does it really take that little to pin Great Khali? That's, you know, really all I'm going to say about that. I wasn't too bothered about the match though, because what I read on the spoilers was one of the reasons why I wanted to watch this match. And what happened after the match is out comes Jinder Mahal talking, you know, in an Indian language, and he's talking to Great Khali, and Khali attacks Ranjin Singh. So basically, Khali is finally turned heel because his face dancing around gimmick just really wasn't fucking working, and he's better as a heel, and we all know that, and it's finally happened. Thank you so much, Jinder Mahal. It looks like these two are going to form some kind of tag team together, which, you know, it could work. I mean, WWE need more tag teams, and it's going to work well for both Jinder Mahal, who needs a little push going new on SmackDown, and Khali needed to turn heel. So it's going to work for both of them and for the tag team division in WWE. That is if WWE decide to go down that route. We had to get one of these, didn't we? It's time for the Who Gives a Fuck segment! Okay, so this is going to be the combination of two segments that we saw on Smackdown. First segment is one I'm fucking fed up of seeing, and it's a fucking Raw rehash of something that has nothing to do with Smackdown. It shows footage of Alberto Del Rio and Big Show getting run over by that car, and it's just so totally pointless. Why do they have this on Smackdown? It has no relevance to the show. It's just there to fill time. Why can't WWE use this to make the matches a little bit longer, or to give some interviews to people that are on the show, or show some talent, such as Ted DiBiase? Maybe. I'm just saying that could be a good idea, rather than putting these pointless Raw rehashes in that we don't give a fuck about, because we've already seen the damn show. And the second thing I'll talk about. We had a Booker T segment. He comes into the ring. He invites Michael Cole out. And basically spends the whole time making fun of Michael Cole. Why? What was the point of this? Again, it just had no point. What was it doing in the show? Why is Booker T doing a segment? When he first came out, I was looking forward. I thought he was going to mention something about Tough Enough. The Tough Enough season finale is coming up or something. But no, he just makes fun of Cole. What was the point? I'm just saying. If you guys out there think the same or differently, comment down below. But this was ridiculous. What was the fucking point? We then hear that Karma is going to make an announcement on Raw as to why she broke down in tears, and I think we all know why this was happening. Why this is the case now. I think Karma Karma is pregnant and she's going to be out of WWE for a long time. I've talked about this on my channel in another video. Congratulations to her. And we'll see what she has to say on Raw. It'd be good to see her cut a promo for the first time, to be honest, after what she's done and the way she's been built. So I think that'll be good to see, despite the fact she won't be in WWE for a good 9 months to a year now. This leads me on to the Divas match. Now again, we had AJ and Caitlyn. They said it was Caitlyn's debut, but she had a match a month ago on SmackDown, which she jobbed to Layla. So it was AJ and Caitlyn with Natalya versus Alicia Fox and Tamina. This match lasted, 2-3 minutes? I'm sorry, I want to see the Divas division do well. But when you have a match last 3 minutes, it's you just scream to yourself, what's the fucking point? And, and I wasn't going to give this my who gives a fuck segment or match, because, it was great to see some, new talent like AJ and Caitlyn have a match. The only trouble is, it comes at the expense of people like Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Melina, Gail Kim, people who should be in this Divas division having matches on SmackDown on TV. I'm all for bringing up new talent, trust me. But I'd rather the Divas division focus on the best wrestlers it has. Fuck Bellas. Kelly, yeah, she's nice to look at, but she's not a great wrestler. Surely not Divas Championship material. But again, what was the point of this match? It was only going to last 2-3 minutes. It didn't really do very good for the people that were just coming in to having their first match, so why bother having it? We then have another Macho Man tribute. Now, I could watch this again because the Macho Man tribute on Raw was epic, and this was exactly the same. But, you have to watch this again because it is such a great tribute to someone who really deserved such a tribute and should be in the fucking Hall of Fame. It was epic, and the song, the Coldplay song, in the segment really just, made me kind of tear up a little bit. There's a great tribute to a great wrestler, Macho Man Randy Savage. What more could you want to describe a guy's career, especially in the WWE and WWF? Great tribute. I'm glad they put it on just before the main event, because that'll be when the viewership is very high, I guess. So yeah, awesome tribute to an awesome wrestler. Then we get to the main event of the evening, which, as we all know from the opening segment, which Mr. Obvious Terry Long made, it's Sheamus versus Christian versus Mark Henry. And in terms of a triple threat match, it wasn't the best match ever. You had the heel beating on the face a majority of the time, which was good. We didn't see too much Mark Henry versus Sheamus, which I don't think we want to see as wrestling fans, because they're both heels. Overall, it was a good match. We had a moment in there where Randy Orton... why did Randy Orton come out? That's what I want to know. Why? I don't get it. It was, this was a good 10-minute main event. It's something that we expect from SmackDown. It's not great, but it's a good it's a good main event, that we want to see. But we get this thing in the match where Orton interferes and RKO's Mark Henry, and then it costs Christian a possible win, which is a bit strange. And then we have Sheamus win via the Brogue Kick. So Sheamus is the #1 contender. While I didn't have a problem with this match, I do have a little bit of a problem with Sheamus being #1 contender. And you want to know why? Well, I'm going to tell you why. you know, what has Sheamus done in these last 6 months that really led me to believe that he would be a viable #1 contender? Okay, let's look at the past. He's been in, you know, he lost his US title at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view clean. You know, he was in the dark match of WrestleMania. What has WWE done to hype him, apart from in these last couple of weeks, that really made me believe that he'll be a viable #1 contender to Randy Orton's championship? And another thing, did you guys see the Randy Orton fucking Sheamus matches they had last year? Was it me or were they fucking boring? That's what I'm going to say about that one. I just think, and this whole title match, this whole #1 contendership thing, they said it's going to happen on Smackdown. You know, why can't this be for the Capital Punishment? An actor's build. You know, I don't know what WWE got planned, but I just would have thought that they'd have done this #1 contendership for Capital Punishment, kind of like Raw did last time to determine the #1 contender for Over the Limit. I don't know. Sheamus #1 contender. Although I don't mind it, because at least it's not Christian and it's someone new, kind of. But we've already seen this. But my question is, who else does SmackDown have? We don't really want to see Mark Henry in the main event. Cody Rhodes isn't ready for the main event, I don't feel. You know, what other heels... And Wade Barrett is stuck in this damn core faction, so what other heels do we really have to rely on as top main event heels at that? So I guess we're going to have to be stuck with Sheamus. We'll see what happens from here, but, you know, to me, Sheamus isn't really a viable #1 contender. But then again, who is on SmackDown? Because Randy Orton is so high above the fucking rest. Who could ever be a viable #1 contender to Orton the way he's fucking booked? Overall thoughts on the show. I was really looking forward to the show, as I said in the intro to this video, and it, you know, I was entertained throughout. There was a couple of good things that happened tonight. Carly turned heel. You know, we had the continuation of the Zeke core feud. We had some good matches as well, which we probably should have seen on a pay-per-view, but I still got them on free TV, so I'm not complaining. Although from a business standpoint that obviously isn't good. I could nitpick about this all day, but you know, it was a good show. I would give SmackDown a B. It really did follow up Raw very well, which I thought was a very good show, and I think SmackDown was also a very good show, despite the fact that, you know, a lot of things there, some things didn't make sense, but there was some good things on SmackDown this week, so I will give it a B. There was a lot of bad things that happened, like I said. Raw rehashes, the Divas match, Booker T segment, we didn't really care about, but overall, I'll give it a B, and I'm going to leave it at that. So that has been it for the SmackDown review for me, Daniel Parkin, on behalf of the British Fist, of course. Before I go anywhere, make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, and comment on your thoughts comment on your thoughts on the show down below. I want to hear what you guys thought. You've heard what I thought. Now I want some response from you guys to see what you thought of this show. Like I said, leave them in the comment section below. Or alternatively, video responses. We always accept video responses to our videos. So that is it from me, Daniel Parkin, signing out. Thank you very much for watching once again, and goodbye.